Welcome back to my channel if you've been here before. If not, welcome to my channel. Hi, my name is Ada, aka Orchata Mami, aka Athena420. I hope you all had a good holiday season because personally, I'm not a fan of the holidays. I get really overwhelmed and it's just not enjoyable for me, but maybe that'll change someday, but who knows. But I hope you guys had a good holiday. Today, I'm here to tell you about a 2003 case that took place in Virginia, VA, specifically in Alexandria, Virginia, which is in Northern Virginia. And this specific case sparked a wave of mass deportations by the US government. Brenda Paz was an immigrant from Honduras who lived in LA for a little while. She grew up in LA and then she moved to Virginia. She was jumped into a gang for 13 seconds, La Mara Salvatrucha, also known as MS-13. She was 13 years old when she joined the gang, and she dated a high-ranking member shortly after she joined. And Brenda grew up in a rough household, and she just, I would assume that she wanted a family, people that had her back, friends, whatever the case may be. That's really the reason that a lot of these people join these gangs. Either they grow up in broken homes, just toxic households, they don't have anybody around that actually cares for them, and they're looking for, you know, their family. Not that I'm making excuses for any of the violence, but I'm just saying I've known some people who are mostly in MS-13 from where I grew up, and you know, they weren't bad people, they weren't violent people. I mean, kids, they were kids, we were literally kids, and they weren't bad kids, they just, you know, didn't really have a home. A lot of them came from group homes. After experiencing some guilt from these crimes that she was witnessing, Brenda decided to start working with the FBI as an informant. And so she went into witness protection.
Once you start thinking about all the stuff you do, that makes you get your conscience. You start thinking, damn, look at all the stuff that I've done through my life for this stupid gang. It's just 2 letters and it doesn't mean anything. You start thinking about that. Your conscience starts working, you start feeling bad about stuff. That's when you become a rat.
She was keeping this under wraps from the gang, obviously. But she told the FBI that MS-13 just wanted to be the biggest gang in the world. They wanted to run everything. They wanted people to be afraid of them. And, you know, they just wanted people to be scared of them. And so she was giving them a lot of this insider information, including, like, you know, gang like signs and what they meant. So yeah, they were getting pretty familiar with MS-13 through Brenda. And at age 17, Brenda became pregnant, and she was 4 months pregnant when she was found in the Shenandoah River in Virginia. So what happened to Brenda? Well, Brenda thought that the gang wouldn't find out that she was working with police, but they were spying on her, and they found her journal where she talked about the relationship she had with the FBI. So from here, they had a meeting at a hotel where they unanimously decided that Brenda needed to be murdered. So Brenda was lured on a fishing trip with one of her good friends, Ismael Cisneros, and her new boyfriend, Oscar Grande. Ismael and Oscar stabbed Brenda repeatedly and then slit her throat, and they just left her in the river to die, where she was found. There was a third man there who witnessed the murder, and it was said that he wrapped a rope around her neck and held it while they were stabbing her, but he was later acquitted of all the charges. But in the interview, he says that after this happened, everybody suffered, not just Brenda. And he talked about how he was going through a lot. He went through a lot of trauma and PTSD after this. I mean, I don't feel bad for you, dude. He said something that was really heartbreaking, and it was that While she was getting stabbed, Brenda kept asking, why? Like, why are you doing this? Her boyfriend and her friend just said, because you're a rat. They just kept telling her that she was a rat. Ismail is serving life in prison for Brenda's murder. In an interview with 60 Minutes, he said that Brenda was a happy girl and that she was just trying to turn her life around. And the reporter asked him, then why did you kill her? And he just said that once you're in the gang, reality gets distorted and you do things that you wouldn't normally do. He said life doesn't mean anything to the gang. And once you're in there, you're either gonna end up in the hospital, in jail, or underground. Dead. Gone. He did urge young people not to get involved in gangs because they fight for territory that isn't theirs to begin with, and they carry guns to appear big and strong, and they want people to be scared of them, but deep inside, they're babies. Okay, he didn't say they're babies, but he said, they're really weak. Weak is the word he used. He said that it was too late by the time he opened his eyes because he's already paying for his actions, as he should be. Brenda's best friend was so hurt and disgusted that she decided to start working with police like Brenda was, just giving them information about the gang so that they could take them down. She wanted to expose them. She was disguised during an interview with 60 Minutes, and she said that the reason she was so disgusted with this murder specifically wasn't only because she was her best friend, but because there was a baby involved. The FBI launched a task force specifically to deal with MS-13, and some of their tactics included mass deportations, which didn't actually work because most of these people kept coming back, or they would go to their home countries and cause trouble there. And so, people in countries like El Salvador, Honduras, and Guatemala were experiencing a lot of violence on the streets when these gang members would come back home and they were free. And they were working with corrupt governments and running the streets pretty much. And it's really sad. This is one of the causes for the surge in immigration, specifically illegal immigration, which is a hot political topic, as you know. But let's not forget that the US government caused a lot of harm to El Salvador during the civil war there in the 80s. They continue to deal with a lot of this residual violence from the civil war, and US is one of the reasons it got so bad. But that's a whole nother topic for another day. Let me know in the comments down below if you want me to cover that, because I will gladly talk about that. But with that being said, thank you so much for joining me. Don't forget to comment, like, and subscribe, and I will see you guys in the next one. Bye.